France, one of the most famous countries in the world, known for its art, culture, and history. But how did it become the France we know today? Let's travel back in time and explore the story of this fascinating nation, from ancient times to modern days. Our story begins over 2,000 years ago in a land called Gaul. It wasn't a single country, but a patchwork of tribes called the Gauls. They were skilled farmers, warriors, and traders, and they lived in harmony with nature. But in 58 BCE, everything changed. The Roman general Julius Caesar invaded Gaul, starting a long war known as the Gallic Wars. Caesar eventually defeated the most famous Gallic leader, Vercingetorix, at the Battle of Alesia. Gaul became part of the Roman Empire, and Roman culture, roads, and laws spread across the land. The Romans built cities like Lyon and Paris, and the people began to speak Latin, which would later evolve into French. By the 5th century, the Roman Empire was collapsing. Germanic tribes, like the Franks, started moving into Gaul. In 481 CE, a young Frankish king named Clovis took control. He united the tribes and became the first king of what we now call France. Clovis also converted to Christianity, which helped him gain support from the church and the people. Over time, Clovis's kingdom grew into a powerful empire. By the 8th century, a leader named Charlemagne expanded it even further. He ruled much of Europe and was crowned Emperor of the Romans in the year 800. Charlemagne encouraged learning and built schools, making his time one of the most important in European history. After Charlemagne died, his empire was divided, and what we know as France slowly started to take shape. But the land wasn't peaceful. In the 9th and 10th centuries, Viking raiders attacked the coasts and rivers. To stop them, a king gave land to a Viking leader named Rollo, creating the region of Normandy. Over time, the Vikings became part of French society. In 1066, a Duke of Normandy named William the Conqueror invaded England and became its king. This created a complicated relationship between France and England that would lead to many wars in the future. By the 12th century, France was growing stronger. Beautiful cathedrals like Notre Dame were built, and universities helped spread knowledge. But in the 14th century, disaster struck. The Black Death, a deadly plague, killed millions, and at the same time, France and England fought a long conflict called the 100 Years' War. The war was about who should control parts of France. During this war, a young girl named Joan of Arc emerged as a hero. She said she was guided by visions from God and helped the French win key battles. But she was captured, put on trial, and executed at just 19 years old. After her death, the French continued fighting and eventually won the war. In the 16th century, France faced another kind of conflict, religious wars between Catholics and Protestants, called Huguenots. Thousands of people died in battles and massacres, like the St. Bartholomew's Day massacre. Peace finally came in 1598 when King Henry IV gave Protestants some rights through the Edict of Nantes. The 17th century was the age of Louis XIV, also known as the Sun King. He ruled France as an absolute monarch, saying, "I am the state." Louis XIV built the Grand Palace of Versailles and made France the most powerful country in Europe. But his wars and spending left France deeply in debt. By the 18th century, ideas of freedom and equality were spreading. Writers like Voltaire and Rousseau challenged the old ways of thinking. In 1789, the people of France had had enough. They were angry about high taxes and a lack of food, so they rose up against King Louis XVI. This was the start of the French Revolution. During the Revolution, the monarchy was abolished and France became a republic. The king and queen were executed, and thousands of people were sent to the guillotine during a period called the Reign of Terror. Eventually, the chaos ended, and a young military leader named Napoleon Bonaparte took control. Napoleon crowned himself Emperor of France in 1804. He created new laws, built a strong army, and tried to conquer Europe. But his ambition led to disaster when he invaded Russia in 1812. His army was defeated, and he was forced to give up power in 1814. He returned briefly in 1815, but was defeated for good at the Battle of Waterloo. In the 19th century, France changed again and again, switching between monarchy, empire, and republic. It was also a time of industrial growth and colonial expansion. However, France faced challenges, including wars and uprisings. In the 20th century, France played a major role in both world wars. During World War I, the country suffered greatly, with millions of lives lost. In World War II, France was occupied by Nazi Germany. The French resistance, led by people like Charles de Gaulle, fought back. After the war, de Gaulle helped rebuild France and established the Fifth Republic, which is the government France has today. In recent years, France has continued to be a leader in art, science, and culture. It has faced challenges like economic struggles, immigration, and terrorism, but it remains one of the most influential countries in the world. In the 21st century, France continued to adapt to global challenges. As climate change became a pressing issue, the French government took a leading role in renewable energy and sustainable urban development. Paris, once known for its beauty and art, became a hub for green innovation, with vertical gardens, eco-friendly architecture, and electric public transportation revolutionizing its cityscape. French scientists played a pivotal role in advancing green technology, making the country a global leader in environmental reform. This commitment to sustainability earned France recognition as a model for balancing heritage with innovation. In global politics, France strengthened its influence as a cornerstone of the European Union. Advocating for stronger economic and cultural ties among member states, France led initiatives that promoted unity and stability within the bloc. Its diplomacy extended to international peacekeeping missions, where the French military and humanitarian organizations worked to resolve conflicts and provide aid in crisis-stricken regions. Paris remained a key stage for global summits, where leaders gathered to discuss climate policy, international security, and human rights, reaffirming France's role as a champion of global progress. Looking toward the future, France is set to embark on ambitious space exploration programs in collaboration with the European Space Agency. Advanced French-made satellites and space rovers explore distant planets and monitor Earth's climate from orbit. These efforts not only solidify France's place in the global scientific community, but also inspire a new generation of dreamers and innovators. As France continues its journey, its legacy of art, science, and human rights serves as a beacon for the world, proving that a nation can honor its history while forging a bright and visionary path forward.